Hello Internet. Hello Internet. This is the camera I'm going to talk about today is the Graflex22. This was a camera made in the 50s. This is the model 200. The model 400 actually has a little bit different. It has a lens that says Graflex, and it also has not just the shutter that you cock, you click, but you have another button you have to press first to cock the shutter. This camera is totally mechanical. You set your aperture here, and you set your shutter speed right here. So it only goes up to 200, 1/200th of a second. So it is rather slow. So you want to be careful with that. What one does find is you do want to be careful about your film. They do, cameras like this, probably a 400 ASA would work good. It would work inside. Outside, you probably would like something like a, the 100 in bright light, which it's kind of set for that now. Well, not quite. This needs to be about 100, and this needs to be about 11. I think that's what my readings were. You do need a light meter with this. There is no metering. There are no batteries in here. And this is a twin lens reflex style camera, which means this is the actual lens that the film sees. This lens here is the lens that you view out of. And what you do is you push this little button here, and that brings up what you view out of. It's what they call it, ground glass. It's basically you're looking down, and you have to get used to focusing one of these. It also has a little, you can see this, a little magnifier that can come up. You can also do it, they show us in the manual, another way where you put this thing down, and that's not how I'm going to be using it. So this is, you basically be holding this at waist level usually. Now I've already shown you, this is the shutter, the aperture, and the shutter speed. On this is your on this side here are your focusing and your film advance, and they're kind of close, so you kind of have to be careful. It also gives you some idea of depth of field based on your aperture and your distance. It has, you can use a tripod with it. This is also for a flash. Now this isn't the type of cold shoe. This is the cold shoe flash that you would see like in cameras made in the 60s and the 70s. This is an older style, like you see those old press cameras where they got this big old lights. That's kind of what that is. Now, loading the film. First of all, you have this. Let me turn it where you can see it. This is a film indicator. You pick this up to see where you are on the roll. To open it, you push this button down, and here is your insides. This is your take-up reel here, and I just switched that. Down here is where you actually put the film, down here on the bottom. And as you can see, here is your lens, and hopefully that you can see that shutter cock. And this take-up, the way it works, this takes 120 film. And the way that works, it's not a cartridge film like the 35, it is a roll film. So you have a roll that's covered in paper, and you pull it over here, and you roll it on here, and the paper will tell you kind of where you are. And when you get it in, as I said, you stick the new roll here, bring it up. When you finish the roll, all the film's going to be on here, and you'll have a similar plastic take-up reel, such as this, back down here. Now you close this thing up, then you would close it up, and there you're ready to shoot. Now one thing I'm still confirming is, one thing I'm concerned about is light leaks, and we're gonna see. My first roll I had some problems with, so that were not due to the camera, I don't believe. They were due to me messing up the processing. So, and this strap, of course, I put this on separately. This is a modern strap, but you really want a strap with this. The other thing this came with on eBay is a nice little case, which is in actually pretty good shape. That's why I'm kind of reluctant to use it that much. But it is protected. It did not come with the lens caps. And I did find someone who did have lens caps for this thing on eBay. Paid probably more than I wanted to, but I do believe in protecting the lenses. These are decent quality lenses on here. 85mm, and as you can see, when you adjust the focus, this comes in and out like so. Not a lot. This is not a bellows style unit, but it's really solid. It's metal. You can definitely feel the weight. But that's the way they made things back then. This is American made. You can find them on eBay for under $100. They're probably a little bit less than the Yashica mats. Your Yashica mats, of course, are more popular, so you're going to spend more on those. But it's a very similar type of camera. And it'll really give you a nice introduction into medium format. So that, and if you're shooting film, I think giving a shot at medium format is great. It's not like large format where you're dealing, you need a special tank, and a typical enlarger won't handle it. This thing, I believe they're 6x6. The square negatives that come out of this will fit in a typical enlarger. They're going to fit in a lot of the tanks. Like the tank I have is it's a plastic tank where you can adjust the size of the reel, so I was able to adjust it for the appropriate size. And I would also advise it before you process. Watch a video on how to load the tank, just so you know how the film comes apart. It's different than 35mm. 35mm, you pop the cap off, you pull the film out, and you roll it. It's all wrapped in paper rather than in a cartridge. And you unroll the paper, of course, in total darkness until you get to where the film is at. Now, you can do it different ways. One thing that may be helpful is just starting to roll up the film until you get to the end, which is usually has masking tape on it. And you can just fold that over. Some people take it off. I don't think there's any harm done folding it over. That's not part that's going to be where pictures are anyways. So, and then you load into the tank pretty much how you would 35mm, although it's wider. One nice thing is the reels tend to be shorter. This particular unit takes about 12 images on a typical 120 roll. And I think it's really nice. I'm looking forward to shooting some more with it. So that's your Yashica. Oh, one other thing to mention. If you do pick up something like this on eBay, there's a gentleman, I think it's www.butkus.com. He keeps a collection of old camera manuals, and he requests a donation of $3 if you download them. Not just old manuals. I was able to get a manual for the Luma Pro a light meter that I've been using with this, because you do need a light meter, I believe, with this, because it does not have any metering internally. And I also found the manual for this unit on his site. I found manuals for other cameras that I have. So it's he's a really good resource, and definitely should be supported. And that's pretty much it for your Graflex22, and this is a Model 200. Thank you.